gets ready to leave, we'll be waiting for him at the hotel.
Mm-hmm. The horses are ready.
Must be close to 10,000 in gold in them saddlebags.
Mm-hmm. Only a kid tending it all.
Better have one, mister. Best 40-rod bourbon in the territory. Compliments of the young cowboy at the end of the bar.
I'll take it.
Go ahead, mister. Like the man said, it's the best 40-rod bourbon in the territory. I'm Della.
Well, Della, I'm Vin Bonner.
You just passing through, or will you be spending some time in our fair little town?
Just passing through. What's the occasion?
Oh, the kid's just celebrating growing up, I guess. Just trail boss's first cattle drive for his father.
Oh, I see. Where from?
Up north, San Mateo Range, about a day's ride.
San Mateo? What's his name?
Jim Winfield. Why, do you know him?
No, but I knew his father from way back.
You mean Cal Winfield, the gunfighter?
Ex-gunfighter. I'm gonna take him out of here.
Why?
Well, because his father's an old friend of mine. Because I know he can't afford to lose that money that the kid's throwing away, so... I'll see you later.
Drink it all up.
Why?
You got some catching up to do, mister. Name's Jim Winfield.
My name's Vin Bonner, Jim.
Heard my old man talk about you.
Come on,
I think you've had about enough, Jim.
You think I ought to leave, Mr. Bonner?
That's right.
Well, I'm just going to tell you something now. I ain't about to leave until I'm good and ready to.
Well, that's right now.
What do you think you're doing?
Now, wait a minute. You've got no right to force this boy to leave here against his will.
Sheriff, this kid's drunk. His father's an old friend of mine. He worked hard for this money. I don't aim to see it thrown away.
Well, I reckon he has had too much to drink.
Come on, Jim. You and I are getting out of this town.
You and I?
That's right. I'm gonna see that that money gets back to your father.
I ain't going.
Now, look, I saw the faces on those men down there tonight. They couldn't take their eyes off that money. You'd be bushwhacked before you're 10 miles outside of town.
Look, I said I ain't going.
Oh.
I haven't seen your father in some years, Jim.
You mean since he reformed?
I had a letter from him a while back. Told me about his place. Asked me to drop by when I was in the neighborhood. He sounded real proud of it. Proud of you too, Jim. He said he couldn't have built it without you.
That sounds just like him.
He needed the money. He told me about this drive. Needed to build his herd, money to pay off his hands, feed Bill. He risked everything he had on you, Jim, letting you trail boss this drive.
All right, you said your piece. Now I'll say mine. Did he tell you in that letter what it's like to be raised in a town where everybody knows your father was a killer? A hired gun?
He wasn't a hired gun. He was good and he was fast. He had to keep proving it. Your father and I are some alike, Jim. There's always someone pushing. The fact that he laid down his guns makes him the better man for it.
Did he tell you about how no decent folk come to visit? Or about the girl I used to have that won't talk to me anymore? You want to know why? Because she found out Cal Winfield, the famous gunfighter, was my father. How many men was it he killed, Mr. Bonner? 17, 18?
That's all past.
Well, I'll never be proud of my father, no matter what you say. Besides, I made my mind up on that drive never to go back here.
Jim.
You take him the money if you want to. I won't be going with you. Tell him when you see him that I cut out for California. Oh, maybe I'll see him again someday.
That the way you want it, boy?
That's the way I want it.
Ted?
You know who did it?
Me and Pete were tending our horses back of the hotel. We heard a shot and run up here. Them saddlebags he had over at the saloon are gone.
Didn't you see anybody?
Well, we heard a horse running fast out of town. It's that fellow who calls himself, Bint Bonner.
How do we know those two didn't do it?
Then why ain't we got the gold?
Whoever killed the kid did it for the gold. The gold's gone, and so's Bonner. Think we'd better go after him.
Me and Pete don't like to see no kid killed. If it's all right with you, we'd like to ride along with you.
Glad to have you, boys. Let's get moving.
Well, kid, at least you had a going-away party for yourself tonight.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Say, what do you call this place?
Santa Lisa?
Looks like it used to be a mining town. Gold?
Silver. Before you run out.
I see. And when the silver ran out, so did all the people.
Reckon that's what makes ghost towns, mister.
Say, what do you call that animal?
Oh, well, you might call 'em mule. only you'd be wrong. He's just an oversized burro. Oh, he might look like a heap of bones, but he's still got plenty of spunk left.
Do you live here?
Yep. I guess you could call me Santa Lisa's leading citizen. I'm the only one left. Oh, I get enough out of the old mine to buy him a beans.
The day off, huh?
Nope. Today's something special. I'm getting me to see a gunfight. Might be a good one, too. Between Cal Winfield and a fella named, Vint Bonner. Ever hear of him?
Yeah, I heard of him.
Is he fast?
Some people say so.
Yeah, he better be, or Cal Winfield will cut him in half before he gets a good start.
Thought Winfield hung up his guns.
Oh, he did. One of Cal's hands come over here this morning. Said Bonner killed his boy, Jim, over at the hotel in Coachella. Took the pay for over 500 head.
Well, anyone see him do it?
I reckon so. Anyhow, a sheriff and 2 riders were here looking for him. Maybe they done caught him by now.
Yeah, maybe.
If he's caught up to, Bonner's a dead man. Cal swore he wouldn't leave the territory alive. Oh, you seem mighty interested in everything.
I'm a friend of Winfield's.
Who might you be, mister?
Vint Bonner.
Any luck, Sheriff?
We've searched most of the valley. We'll find him.
Just remember, no shooting when you do find him. Unless it's me doing it.
What happened to the horse?
They come near bone attendant.
No wonder, the way you've been driving him all night. I know how you feel, Winfield, but you ought to let the law handle this.
Oh, meaning you, huh? This is federal territory, Sheriff. You got no more jurisdiction here than I have, and don't you forget it.
If I was to take him into Coachella, he'd be in my jurisdiction.
Oh, yeah. I heard there's going to be an election in Coachella. I also heard that you haven't got a chance of winning it. Of course, if you brought in Bonner, that'd do it for you, wouldn't it?
Suppose it did. The killer'd still be tried according to the law.
I'm gonna kill Bonner my way. The same way he killed my boy, with this. I hung this up 8 years ago. Partly because of Bonner. For my son's sake, he said. For his future.
Haven't you seen him since?
No. When I do, one of us will be dead. Now, where are those Lawson boys he was riding with?
They're waiting down at the little mining town, Santa Lisa, in case Bonner comes through that way.
With my hands covering the rangeland to the north, we'll probably find Mr. Bonner somewhere in between. We'll catch up with him before sundown.
Cal? I want to talk to you.
Get out of here, Sheriff. I said get out of here. Get on your horse and get off my place. To do it in Julesburg, Bonner.
I remember.
When the ashes fall.
You're gonna take up right where you left off 8 years ago.
Right where I left off.
I didn't kill your boy, Cal.
You're a dirty liar. You knew Jim was coming into town with that money I told you in my letter. You couldn't resist it.
That's not true. And your boy wasn't coming back.
You got maybe 1 more minute of talk left, Bonner.
He asked me to bring back the money, Cal. The last thing he said to me, he was heading for California.
But this ranch, every head of cattle on it, gonna be his someday, oh no.
He didn't want the place. He didn't want the cattle, nor any part of you.
You expect me to believe that? My own son?
It's true, Cal. Your boy was pulling out on you. I think you knew that. Do you think killing the wrong man will even the score?
You're running out of time, Bonner.
Then there's nothing else I can say.
Looks like somebody's liable to set the barn on fire. I've seen this little game played before. Somebody always ends up getting killed. You two got no reason to play it.
Who are you? What business is this of yours?
Who am I? Well, that's not important. What's important is that Vin Bonner here didn't kill your son. I know who did.
You better know what you're talking about, young lady.
You know what this is? The gunsmith at Cuchilla said it's a .38-40 caliber shell. I found it in the hotel room where your son was killed. I've been around men in saloons long enough to know that Vin Bonner was wearing a .45 caliber Colt. That shell couldn't have come from his gun.
I reckon you never did wear nothing but a .45, Vin. In all the years I've known you. I'm sorry. It's just that my son is the only thing in this world that I was gonna leave the ranch, everything I owned to him. Figured I'd pull out maybe about the time we put the yearlings out to graze. That way, maybe he'd think about getting married, settle down without having to be ashamed of his name or his old man's history. And I heard that he was shot and you'd done it. I didn't question it, Vint. I reckon I didn't think very straight. Now, you said you know who shot him.
Two men named Lawson. One was wearing a fancy gun. They left Cuchilla with the sheriff.
Yeah, they were right here in this ranch last night. Right now, they're at a place called Santa Lisa. Reckon I'll just ride over there.
Cal, there were two of them. Let me go with you.
Oh, have to. I'm proud to have you, Vin.
I sent for the federal marshal. I figured I had to. This is his jurisdiction.
You had to.
Now, suppose Bonner outdrawed Winfield. We'd be right back where we started. Only Bonner'd have two killings behind it.
You think Bonner had a chance? Against Cal Winfield?
I don't know. From the way Bonner handled himself, I'd say he had a chance against anybody.
He's still only one man. There's three of us. Them are good odds.
This is probably my last job as sheriff of Cuchillo. I don't suppose I've been the greatest of sheriffs, but before I turn in this star, I want to see this thing through. Even if I can't do it, I want to see Bonner brought in. That's why I sent for the federal marshal.
Well, in that case, Sheriff, me and Pete will head out. We got a date in Mexico. Ain't we, Pete? Yeah, sure we have.
are you doing?
Bonner didn't kill my son. He was shot with a .38-40 slug. It would have had to come from a special job. A custom-made gun, like Clay Lawson's wearing.
You accusing me, Winfield?
Yeah, maybe I am. This shell fits your gun? Sheriff, I'm gonna ask you to wait outside. There's a young lady out there who'll tell you all about this shell. You're gonna have 2 prisoners going back to Coachella. They'll be riding without guns. Or they'll be stretched out wearing them. That'll be their choice. Now, you can either drop your belts or make your move. If you want to know who you're drawing on, I'll tell you. Vint Bonner here is the only living man that they said was as fast as me.
Okay. Hey, what are you doing? What's the way for killing that kid?
We gotta take our chances.
Ain't no man ever backed you down before.
You still got your choice.
Clay, what'd you have to go and drop your gun belt for? 2 against 1. Them aren't very good odds.
The same odds you gave my son.
The sheriff's outside.
I don't know why I didn't kill him. I should have killed him.
Same reason I told your boy. Takes a bigger man to lay him down than it does to use him.
Did you meet up with Cal Winfield?
Yeah, I met him.
What happened? Did you kill him?
No, I didn't kill him. Guess you might call it a draw.
A draw? I ain't never heard of a draw. Not in a gunfight, I ain't. Draw?